Back in Sasquatch Canyon again, servicing game cameras. The last of the cameras and anywhere that we have that need to be serviced before the end of the year. The canyon's about 35 miles long with several smaller canyons that branch off of it. And a couple of the spots are where people have claimed to have saw the creature. This will be a 7-mile hike that we're doing today to service all of these and then hiking back out. The canyon that we got the eye shine in. We found quite a few footprints over the years in this canyon. And the next game camera we're checking is set up in a location where we found footprints and a handprint. The handprint was 14 inches long from the longest finger down to the bottom of the palm. Then the footprint was 17 inches that we found. There's vocalizations that way.
That's the second time I've heard it.
This is a shotgun mic. Whoa! It sounds like a bunch of monkeys going off. I'm going to show you guys where the handprint and footprints were. I hope the microphone picked up a bunch of those vocalizations. Right here, this slot canyon. One winter that we hiked back here, Jenny and I back there on top of this giant ledge that's, I don't know, like 4 or 5 acres of a forest type land up on top of this cliff. We heard voices up here one winter. But anyway, we found a couple of footprints and there was a handprint right on this wall, like whatever come down touched right there. And in the soft dirt and stuff, we were able to measure the dimensions of a handprint, and then footprints left off down that way. So we keep a camera up there. We're going to climb up there and go service that camera. If there's anything cool on it, we'll put it at the end of this video. That camera is serviced. Serving us right before winter. It has snowed a few times up here. It's late fall, getting close to winter. So servicing those until we can get in after spring melt off. So you'll get to see what we captured on this over the summer, over the spring, the fall. 3 more cameras to service, and anything cool on all those, you guys will get to see that. We always put those at the end of these videos where we service them. Jenny and I one winter, mid-February in 2013, we hiked back here. And I mean, we couldn't get as far back as we normally do. We could only get about a mile or so in. But right here is where we heard voices up on top of the icy cliffs.
It was February.
Yeah, mid-February. We was up here freezing our butts off Bigfoot, and we did stay up here in the winter time all weekend, by the way.
It was our Valentine retreat.
Yep, we found footprints in the snow up here. And heard those voices up there.
That was weird.
And then today, hopefully the camera picked it up, we heard some vocalizations echoing through the canyon. Kinds of these large acreage cliff ledges. You know, if you're an animal, get up on these ledges and stuff. I mean, you got grass and trees and berry bushes, acorns. This canyon's big time acorn canyon. Lots of oak up here that drops acorns every year. When we get to this point, I always feel like we're going into the lair of the beast. It's just, I mean, look at the ambience. Yep, we're in what a lot of people call Rough Canyon, one of the side canyons.
Rock stack. You just stepped on a rock stack.
Oh. I stepped on a rock stack. I always blame those on people, but there's a lot of people that think Bigfoot makes rock stacks. This is where Brody and I were standing one year, and two large rocks. Both of them were about the size of a bowling ball were thrown down right next to us. You know, the first one, I'm thinking, okay. I mean, it just come in thump. It didn't like roll down the cliff. I mean, it come in cleanly and clearly, you know, but I still was like thinking, well, maybe it was just a weird rock fall. And then a couple seconds later, another one a little bit closer, thump, and you know, I seen that one hit. The camera captured the sound of those hitting and then rolling. Brody was standing right there and backing towards me and starting to draw his 45. It was one of those scary moments. I didn't feel like whatever it was actually trying to hit us. I felt like it probably could have hit us if it wanted to, if it was actually something throwing it.
Right there, look. A person could have done that, but that's weird.
How the rock is stabbed into the log right here. Yeah, that's new. That's never been stabbed into the log before. But yeah, you're right, a person could have done that. This log used to be set up just like this one, and this past year this one snapped.
What's weird about it is, see that big chunk taken out right there? That was never there.
Yeah, I'll bet you a bear or a badger come up and dug into it now that it's accessible. Probably digging in there for some grubs.
You have claw marks?
I don't know. I don't see any claw marks. No, I don't see scratching.
That's usually all dried up by now.
This is a place where we found some good footprints and some snap-offs. This is a spot where we casted that footprint that was nearly 18 inches long. Whatever it was. Yeah, it was like 18 3/4 is what it was. Just a massive footprint. And we didn't just find one of them, we found like 5 of them, and the best one of them we cast that. Down in the description I'll put a link to the video where we cast that. I think it was at the end of the video that we named Epic Bigfoot Expedition.
At the very end of the day on the way out.
Yeah, we found a lot of footprints that day, but that was a crazy ending. Holy crap. I wish every expedition was like that. That was a crazy day. Crazy weekend. Just looking for footprints. We've found some really nice footprints at the bottom of this waterfall before. Nothing jumps out at me today. There's that rock stack mark, Crooks. There's a rock stack we always checked on back here. This is a section where we find a lot of rock stacks. I mean, there's a little one right there. I mean, it's little but big rocks. But anyway, that last one I was showing you is the biggest, has the most amount of rocks, the highest that's in this area that we always check on. And I brought Mark back here and he talked me into letting him move it to another little boulder about 10 feet away, and he restacked the rocks in a different order to see if anything happens to it. And anyway, I'll just have to compare that video to photos I've taken in the past.
I was going to show off my new knife.
Oh, yeah. Jenny's dad made her this knife.
It's really pretty.
Jen's Bigfoot knife. That's her last line of defense if she gets nailed by a black bear or a mountain lion.
Yeah, he makes all these by hand.
It's a beautiful knife. I like the inscriptions and stuff that he...
Yeah. This is Jenny here, and then it has my dad's initials on this side.
And look at the sheath that he made her. Sit on her backpack right next to her mace.
The bed came down here when it was really muddy to make this big pile of mud. And look, there's digs in it, like claws. See them?
Yeah, something clawed right here. Put your hand down there, show them how big those claw marks are. Wow. Yeah, it made a mess. Yeah, it clawed up here too.
Oh, look at that.
That looks like bear damage.
Yeah.
Bear climbing up here in the mud and using his claws to get traction. And down there you could see he wasn't getting good traction because he slid about 9-10 inches. I get excited when I see bear activity. That means there's food back here. If bears are back here, so hopefully Bigfoot follows the food.
Please don't be a baby bear.
Heard some weird vocalizations and we're just hoping it's not a baby bear.
It sounded like one. That's the worst noise. That's the last thing I want to see in the whole world is a baby bear.
Well, you might want to draw your mace.
Where's your mace? Right there?
Uh-huh. Well, one of us should have it drawn. We just found a bunch of bear claw marks and then heard what we thought might be a baby bear vocalizing over here. Find footprints here a lot, and sometimes we stop here and have a break and eat a lunch or a snack or whatever on our hike, and so Derek named it the Bear Cafe. It's really overgrown.
Yep.
There's a structure on the mountaintop right here, by the way. It's really bent over and weaved together in a dome. It's
pretty intricate.
Mm-hmm. There's scrapes and tracks down below. But something definitely scraped right there.
Cats do that.
Yeah, but because we've been following bear tracks, wonder if it was him. as opposed to one of those big old mountain lions we find up here. We cast a mountain lion footprint the last time we were up here. It was so big and impressive and in a perfect spot. I mean, you know, we're not up here chasing mountain lions, bear. We're out up here after Bigfoot, but because this was such a perfectly preserved and large and just a perfect spot to do it, I had to. I mean, you know, why not add a mountain lion trap to my cast? It was well worthy. Big one up here. We catch them on camera once in a while. All right, another steep section. There's a lot of little mountains that we have to climb to get back in here. Here's the waterfall section. It's kind of a drippy spring type waterfall. Most of the water seeps out of the walls, and anytime it's below freezing, it just makes these beautiful ice formations and stuff. Whoa, something just threw a rock in the water over here. Big old splash. Alright, I don't know what it was. Maybe a rock just fell off the side of the cliff and cleanly splashed into the pond down there. It was a pretty large rock, it sounded like. See, the ice is already starting to build up near the waterfall. And during the winter, there just gets massive ice formations here. And, you know, when we start seeing the ice here in the fall, we know that pretty soon we're not going to be able to hike back here, because these trails, these animal trails we hike in on, they get all icy, and then we slide off down that cliff. Yeah, so it is a dangerous hike many times of the year. Those of you that have been following us for years, you guys have probably seen some of the action in the past in the place in Sasquatch Canyon we call the Bigfoot Highway, because we have found so many Bigfoot footprints and casted them in this little clearing back here. And we keep some cameras close to the clearing because of the footprints. But it's always exciting when we haven't been up here in 5-6 months and we come up to look around on the Bigfoot Highway. As you can see, some moles and stuff come up here and make these mounds. There's also ants and stuff that make mounds up here, but it makes it a nice soft place to accept a footprint. So sometimes we find some wonderful footprints up here if the Bigfoot happened to be in there. See, and Jenny just found a mountain lion footprint. Oh, I see it.
It's little. Maybe it's a bobcat.
Well, we did see that that large female on her two cubs. Or they're not cubs, they're kittens.
Yeah.
Those kittens are like 1 or 2 years old. I mean they're good sized. One of them still had a little bit of spots on it.
Yeah, one of them still had spots.
Put that footage we've got of her and her two young ones on, because that could very well be one of their footprints.
We've got Bobcat up here as well.
Uh-huh. Muscly Bobcat.
Yeah.
So we've seen mountain lion and bear tracks today. Here's Squatch shaped. I don't know if the viewers can see that. That's 17. Yep, that's a 17-inch footprint right there. Wow, it looks really nice. Nice edges. See where some of the toes hit. They got a little bit of angle. It's 17 inches long. The toes are up here. The largest part of the toe, or longest part, was up there, and it curves back around here and then goes off all the way down this edge, and the hill's really deep. I mean, it struck and hit really hard here and then comes right back up here. And so we got one that's 17 inches long, and look, he like squished the mud up over here on this side where his heel made contact. That's where it looks like most of the weight was, is behind what looks like the mid-tarsal area right here. But this is kind of the downhill side, and he squished a little bit of mud up. This may have already been a mound. It looks like this is kind of a softer part that accepts a footprint a little bit better. And let's get the width on that while I'm right here. The longest, I mean the widest part of the foot is 8 inches wide. That's up where the toes kind of spread out, and then down at the heel we're getting 6 inches wide just before it makes its curve at the very back of the hill. We're getting about 6 inches wide. So that's a pretty big Squatch. It sunk in pretty deep right there. And then up ahead a little bit on one of the harder parts we found where it had stepped. In my experience, they try not to leave behind tracks, you know, so they're going to avoid stepping in something soft like this. They'll stick to the harder parts. But it looks like something made contact right there. It's just nothing definitive. It didn't accept the footprint as well as back here by my mace.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't think we found a footprint in this section the last time we were here, so cool. We got 3 cameras around this spot, so we'll go service those and we'll show you if there's anything on those cameras at the end of this video. Tree snapped right next to one of our cameras. If it's not weather related, hopefully, or even if it's weather related, maybe that camera will get it. I changed this camera's position a little bit. Some of the viewers have asked me to put it a little bit higher and angle it down a little bit. Jenny also suggested that, and I'm like, viewers have asked for it. I know Mark Tricks, he told me to put it up a little bit higher. So anyway, we'll get to see next year how that turned out. This camera up here just takes photos for us. That's its specialty. Has a pretty fast trigger in the photo mode. Last camera had dead batteries, so I'm expecting this one to have dead batteries too. It was like, I think it was May. That was a long time ago, last time we were here. A few years ago, quite a few years ago, Jenny backtracked. Instead of following where the footprints went, we backtracked a pair of footprints back in here. There was some 17 and 14-inch footprints, and we painstakingly followed them back in here. This is where they came from. And after we found the area, I told Brody about it, and showed him the videos and the pictures of the footprints that we backtracked in here. And so Brody and I come out, and when Brody and I come out, that's when we found the nearly 19-inch set of footprints. And we also found them back in here, so we nicknamed the area the land of the giants, because it was the first time out of all the times we've come back in here that we found an individual that leaves just those giant footprints. So pretty neat area, and the structure's back in here. And we got a camera on that structure. We're gonna go in and service it, and we'll show you guys what's on the SD card. It is rough getting into this structure. It is just rough. It is thick. There's lots of deadfall. You have to climb your way over, work your way around, and then the ground is just really soft and weird. It's hiking up, and it's like running in the sand on the beach, where you put all that power and it slows you down. But anyway, the structure is right back in there. We left a pinwheel toy as a gift a year ago. And it was pulled out of its spot and on the ground the last time we come up and checked on it, and we put it right back in the spot where it needs to be, and we had to cinch it in. I mean, I can't believe something was able to pull it out, you know, like a squirrel or something. I just had to have been something bigger, but I don't know. We didn't capture on film what did it. The camera's not aimed at the toy, it's aimed at the structure. One of my friends, he stated that it might be bad juju in here, leaving cameras on these structures. And I was like, I know. For several years I really respected them, and I didn't put cameras faced at them or in the structure complex, but after doing this for several years, perhaps the Bigfoot have gotten to know me, I don't know, but a couple other structures I'm aiming cameras at, or actually putting cameras inside the structure location. And there's the structure that we're keeping an eye on. You know, we find these leaning structures made of logs all up in the same host tree, and you know, some of the tops are weaved together. You know, I'd normally ignore something like this, but this isn't a Bigfoot sighting hotspot. There's been over a dozen Bigfoot sightings in this area. The furthest back, besides Indian paintings of suspect Bigfoot on some of the cliff walls and stuff around here, the oldest sighting report I know of is 1977, and then a sighting exactly a year ago from right now was reported. So there's a long history of Bigfoot sightings. So we're going to keep an eye on these structures. Maybe they have nothing to do with Bigfoot. Maybe they do. We're not going to know if we don't keep an eye on them. So maybe we'll figure out that mystery at some point in our lives. Jenny just found the pinwheel, and the pinwheel's been destroyed. It's actually about 30-40 feet from where we gifted it.
Yeah, it was just, the stick is gone. The stick's been all dismantled. There's kind of chew marks on here.
Well, I don't think it was the squirrels that tore it down, but maybe the squirrels have chewed on it since. I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't either.
It's just not where it was. And if you guys watched when we placed it the last time, it was clear over here that we placed it, and we shoved it between the bark and the tree, and it took a lot of power to shove it into place. It was wedged right up here in the bark of this tree.
The stick is gone.
Yeah, maybe we'll find the stick, but yeah, right by the structure location. And then here's the camera that we have watching the structure. I don't know, maybe Bigfoot detects these and they're not coming around their structure any longer because of the camera, but I don't know. We're hoping they might get used to the cameras and eventually show themselves anyway. Or screw up, make an accident, little one running by, who knows. We're going to continue to use any type of tool available to try and film a Bigfoot. That's our goal, is to get clear footage, video footage of a Bigfoot. So even though they may be able to detect these cameras and avoid them, there's always that minute chance, so we'll keep them out there. Why not? You found the stick to it? Is it chewed up too? Oh, the stick's at the base of the structure.
Bent. And it's got little nibbles. Those are bigger teeth prints right here.
Yeah, more than one sized animal's been chewing on them.
Yeah, those are big. And then here's little nibbles right here. And little nibbles right here.
Well, something enjoyed our gift. Yeah, we'll clean up our gift. Maybe bring in another one to chew on at some point in time. Jenny took what's left of the pinwheel and actually put it right on the structure. So, and the camera's aimed at the structures. So maybe we'll capture what's doing this the next time.
Birds might like the shiny.
Yeah, I know crows like to collect all kinds of stuff. Got all the cameras serviced. We're standing in front of the land of the giants. We found a lot of footprints where we're at now in this general area. We found one today, so excited to see what's on those cameras. We've been doing this so long and haven't got that definitive Bigfoot on a game camera yet, so you know, I don't get too excited, but it is like Christmas Eve, going back and checking and seeing what's on those game camera SD cards. We serviced 4 of them today. I hope you guys enjoyed this Bigfoot expedition. Stay tuned to the end and see what kind of animals we captured. Keep on watching. We're gonna keep on squatching. Like some wood knocking sounds up here. I don't know, maybe it's 2 trees rubbing against each other. What the hell? Did a bear climb up there? I don't know, I'm looking for him. The wind dies down and the tree still makes that cracking noise. Wonder if something climbed up there and is hiding from us. See, no wind.
What the?
Dang. It's kind of weird, huh?
First, don't know what that is.
I'm looking for a bear up there. Jenny and I have encountered a bear at this very spot before, so that's why my instinct is maybe a bear is making this tree sway and crack against this other tree. I don't know how it stopped, and I don't see anything up there.
I don't either.
Don't see anything. It's kind of weird how it's holding still and being all quiet now, huh? Yeah, I doubt Sasquatch could hide up at the top of that tree from us, so I'm just gonna rule that out right now. I don't know what it is, what was causing that.
tug on it. See if you think.
Okay, just a second. Will you put this in my backpack? I'm gonna